Then next time I try. And even if I still can't do it, yeah, you know that I'm gonna stick to it. Yes, it's all about going through it, and I'm gonna tell you why. Whoopsie, whoopsies, I made a mistake and it's okay. It's okay. Whoopsies are what it takes to get better and better every day. Whoopsies, I made a mistake and it's okay. It's okay. Whoopsies, help me look, see, I'm better at this today. Woo! Whoopsies, 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 whoopsies.
I'm a little embarrassed when I look at my drawing compared to this. I'm just not getting anywhere with this. It makes me wanna hide. Aw, don't be embarrassed. Don't hide.
You should have seen mine the first time I tried. It took a lot of whoopsies to look this way.
No one's perfect on their first day. Whoopsie.
Whoopsies, I made a mistake and it's okay.
It's okay. Whoopsies are what it takes to get better and better every day. Whoopsie, 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 whoopsies.
Well, what about this? I want to jump rope, but nope, I just can't do it.
Well, not yet. Come on and practice with me. You'll see there's nothing to it.
Whoa! Whoopsie.
Whoopsies, I made a mistake and it's okay. It's okay. Whoopsies, help me look, see, I'm better at this today. Woo!
It was only a dream, the waves of evil crashing overhead. It was only a weak and faithful scream beneath the battlements. I know it's hard to follow the fight's too hard. Wake up, my love, please don't give up on me. It's hard. Wake up.
What is up? What is up, you guys? We are back at it again. Another epic day here in 100 days of Rootkit. It's time to keep chugging along and hopefully conclude our game server development. All right, we got just a little bit left on it, so we're gonna polish things up, conclude it, so that way we're gonna have a chill weekend. I hope you guys are excited. Let me go ahead and switch on over the music here. And let's go ahead and finish up the intro, shall we? If you don't know, we are Rootkit, nonprofit organization here in the US of A. Don't go to college. Don't go to any other boot camp. All right, you're already here. You're already watching. It's free 99. All the other days are recorded. You've already started the first step. All right, so keep chugging along. On top of all this free goodness we're doing, all right, so you can go get certified. All right. If you go over to our blog, we have free merch you can win right now. Go to our site, go to the blog, week 13 giveaway. Press the green button, 100% free to join, enter, show that you're subscribed to our YouTube channel, following us on Twitch, etc., for more entries to win the free merch. What's the merch going to be? I don't even know. We'll figure it out together on Sunday, all right? Mystery roll. Now, on top of all that, we are a nonprofit, all right? You like taxes? I don't. So if you want to avoid them, donate today. We are a charity, so all donations are 100% tax deductible. Depending on how much you donate, you can unlock certain rewards like our epic stickers, our collab t-shirt, and our epic sweater. All right, get those before this event's over. They're limited time only. And we have pillars along the way, like streaming for 24 hours straight, shaving my head here live on stream, and shaving my beard. But also, all donations are matched 1-for-1 for the first 10,000 donations. So if you donate $1, it's like you're donating 2. That's pretty epic if you ask me. All right. On top of all that goodness, well, before we do that, you might notice we're using Bing. We're exploring for the last couple days. That and then Bing chat. Right. We're exploring. We are expanding our horizons here. On top of all that, if you are a Patreon or Discord premium member, you can go ahead and jump right into the Discord, all right? I'm in the events chat. You can jump in there and chat away. You don't need to type in the normal YouTube or Twitch chat, which I am watching, all right? Jump in there, just talk, all right? Again, it's for champions also. So champions, Patreon, and Discord premium members, that's if you go to server subscriptions and subscribe to the server and help support us, all right? So let me go and check the chat, see if there's any questions, comments, or concerns before we chug along with today's lesson. All right. So today we're going to be finishing off this application, all right? We're going to make the combat, all right? We finished off yesterday with moving. Today, we're just going to finish up with combat. All right. Again, these are all just examples on how you can go about doing it. There's lots of work that can still be done. We've added a couple of to-dos so you can expand upon this. All right. After we do that, we'll try to create a deadlock example. All right. We'll try to create a deadlock example to show that potential issue in regards to threads. We did show the race condition, but we got to show the deadlock condition also. Right. So let's get to it, shall we? So far, we've made our commands in a very simplistic way. They work. That's the big thing. That's all that matters, all right, is that they work. The expandability of them, it's debatable. It's not the worst because we're utilizing JSON. Right now, raw JSON. So we should actually go to the client and first edit this. Let's check what branch we're on right now because I forget where we left off yesterday. We got to go into our game server folder here, get status, and we left off on the move command. So let's finish up our move command from yesterday because again, we got it working. Let's go ahead and run the server right now and show where we left off yesterday, just in case anyone was confused. All right, server's running. Let's go ahead and connect. So Python and our client will connect to the server. Let's connect as Bob. And there we go. We get a printout of the map and we can enter a command. The commands that we accept right now are JSON data. So we have to straight up, as a user, put in JSON data in here and say move and then say where we want to move, 0 through 4. All right, not ideal. No user wants to do this. So there is no boundary checking, so we can go off the map, and we saw that does cause an error. So let's go ahead and move down. There we go. Our player goes down. Now, this is not ideal for a user. So we, as the developers, should make it a little bit easier. So much so, maybe just a user says move and then up, move and then down, move and then whatever, and we correlate that one for what move they end up executing. That most likely would be the simplest way of going about it. So let's go ahead and do that, shall we? If we go into our client here, we know right here is where they enter commands. Now we're doing very much literal string commands, which is a way you can go about doing it. Works, but may or may not be what you want to do expanding forward. I don't know. It just depends. Right? It just depends on what you're doing. It's not a bad way of doing it. There are just other ways to do it also. So when they enter this command, instead of just sending it raw over to the server, we want to intercept their message and auto-generate that JSON data for them. Right? We want to auto-generate it for them. So let's go ahead and say if message, I guess we could just put a placeholder exit there. Sorry, the what do you call it? Copilot auto-generated that. Kind of lost my thought there. We're just going to keep this right here for later because we do kind of want to make a quit command. So here, if the message, I guess a help command wouldn't be that bad. That's another challenge that you can do, is make a help command that will output all the various things a user can do. We're going to do message.split, and we're going to split it on spaces and equals. All right, there we go. This thing is so beautiful. It makes me cry every time. All right, there we go. So this automatically wrote all the code that we need. So what we're doing here is they're going to say move space and then where they want to move. All right, very much a literal string. When they say move, which is what we're looking for right here, then that means they want to commit the move command. When they want to do the move command, we're going to then look for up, down, left, and right. And depending on what they do here, then we're going to auto-generate that JSON data that we'll send back. Now, Copilot here, did not generate all the code correctly that we need. So let's go ahead and finish this up, shall we? This is a great starting place for us. So we need the up, down, left, and right values, which is going to be in our shared library folder in player configs. So let's go ahead and import that. So from, look at that, it's already writing it for us. So from player configs, we can get our up, down, left, and right. Copilot is absolutely beautiful. So now that is in here. The last part is we need to make this message valid JSON data. All right, and we can be a little smarter or cleaner about this, all right? Because effectively all we need is a base JSON template, aka we could say our message is going to equal, and it's going to be effectively a dictionary that we turn into JSON. So we could say move, and we're not going to put what they have raw in there. We're going to say move, and move needs some type of number. I guess by default we can just say 0. All right, so now in here we can say message dot move. No, we want to do it like this. Move equals up. There we go. So the message move equals move up. Will it write it for here? No, we'll not write it. So let's go and do some copy and pasting, shall we? So this is going to be down. And this is going to, let's see if it will auto write it now. Nope. This is going to be left, and this one's going to be our right. All right. Can the next stream be 9.5 just to make 100 days a little bit longer? Potentially. We might, depending on how the next challenge goes. That's a great request, face it. Depending on how the next challenge goes, because we're going to finish up this one and then we're going to do one more big project. We may go a couple days over 100 days, all right? So don't tell anyone, all right? The title's kind of a lie. It depends, because I do want to finish up the last example, because we're going to show some threading with a lot of other connections. It's going to be pretty much, arguably a little bit more than what you would have to do on the exam, right? Maybe a little bit more than what you have to do on the exam. Why are we doing it? Going to do a big project like that to show you guys, you know, what you can do, all right? And a more challenging attempt, something, a stretch goal per se, all right? And it will really require all of the other foundational items, all right? So again, if you find yourself getting lost, you should go back and rewatch the previous days, because you need to know all of this up to day 40 or 40 something, pretty much all of that stuff verbatim to pass the written part, and then everything after day 40, you need to have a pretty good grasp on programming, all right? And we have I forget where it is right now, but we have an outline on exactly what we're going to be testing you guys. Pretty much if the easiest is if you look at the rubric for any of the tier 1 certs, so like the Python cert or Java cert, that pretty much lays out exactly what we teach you at a tier 1 level. You need to show 2 different languages of your choice for the tier 2, and it will include some more expert things per se, which would be potentially reaching out to APIs, multi-threaded applications, etc., etc. So we'll get into that a little bit more here in a bit. Let's go ahead and finish this up real quick though, before we go too much on our side tangents. So this works. The last kind of nicety, well, one thing here is we see a lot of code. We want to have dry code as much as possible, and if you see right here, not really the driest. Maybe better for memory, but we're in Python. So does memory management really matter? Arguable. All right, arguable. I guess it always depends, but most cases, not really. All right, so let's go ahead and just make a variable here called the direction, right? This is the direction that the player is trying to go. I guess we could also maybe call it the message direction, or whatever you want to end up calling this. I'm just going to call it direction. And we can replace all of these with just that. So that way it's a little bit more dry. And the last thing we can do is wrap this with a dot lower. So that way, doesn't matter if they do uppercase, lowercase, or mixed cases, it will always be looking for it will always translate what they entered into a lowercase string, and then we can modify that. All right, this is just a nicety for everyone, including the client. Yes, this is arguably, you may look at it originally and be like, this doesn't seem very dry. It is, right? Sometimes you just have a lot of if statements. There are workarounds. There are workarounds that you can do. So depending on your setup, a more pro gamer move would be setting up an array of arrays where you could, and we're not going to use this logic, but I'm just going to demonstrate what you could go about doing. You could say something like up, and then after that, the up variable, and then down, left, right. So you basically make a variable like this. Let's call it choices equal. And now you can condense it down to one if statement. So if the direction is in choices, what is that? The choice. I think we have to do a for loop here. Yes, I'm pretty sure we have to do for loop. We could also do the same thing with a dictionary, which might actually make more sense in this scenario. Let me rewrite this in a dictionary. There we go. You can use a dictionary or an array. Again, it's always up to you. So you could do something like this. So if, and then we could do direction this would be slightly different because we need to do choices dot get is not none, and then this would be perfect. So now we can pretty much condense all of this into just this. Again, this is a more pro gamer move. I personally like these a little bit better because I think it's a little cleaner, me personally, than a bunch of if statements. But they both work and they both take almost the same amount of line space. All right, this is arguably a little bit drier since the logic is all condensed in one if statement instead of here where the logic is everywhere. But again, it just depends. You don't have to super optimize, all right? As long as it's dry enough, right, to a certain extent, as long as you're trying to remain dry, it will be fine. All right. What is up, you guys? I guess I'll just keep this here as an example for our supporters. Example for an alternative way to do this. Let me go ahead and check Twitch chat here quick. All right, so this should be, I think the last thing we need to do here is, all right, so invalid direction. The last thing we need to do here is effectively translate the message into JSON. We need to import JSON. Import JSON, and right here we're going to go ahead and dumps should be the one that we want. All right, so dumps, aka with an S at the end, will return it as a string. So it's going to take a dictionary and turn it into a string. So we're going to do that right here because maybe we do this logic. If we did this logic everywhere, made everything into a dictionary, we could do the dumps right here, but we don't know that right now. The only last thing we want to do to clean up is we got a lot of code here in our main. And our main isn't really meant for all of these little tidbits and lots of just raw code, all right? We want to put these into functions that are stored elsewhere. So over in our client section here, in our libraries, this is a move command. So we can go ahead and maybe make a new file here. This is, you know, we could make a folder for all the commands, but since we're only going to have like 2-3 different commands, we'll just make a file called commands.py. In here, let's just go ahead and pretty much copy all of our code from the if statement and go to commands. We're going to say define move, and we'll dump all of this right here. All we need is that initial, what do you call it? The initial message. This is messing up the message, right? So message split. So we need this message right here. This is going to be the direction. Okay. Message move. We'll call this player. We'll call it P direction. I'm going to rename some variables here because we did have an issue with our variable names. This one should work now. We can remove the continue here. Instead, we're going for the else, we're going to return none. And if everything works, then we're going to return our JSON data. Let's go ahead and import JSON. I'm going to do a quick review after just writing all this. I just want to write it real quick. And we want to also copy our line from here for our imports over to commands. There we go. So now everything should be golden now. We just need to import in here our file. So this is going to be libs client.commands. And we can change this from a to a no, let's keep it as a and then we'll just say as commands. And then right here in our if statements, let's go and say commands.move and then message. There we go. So as you can see, we're gonna do a review right now. As you can see, this looks a lot cleaner in our main, all right? Because when they do the move command, we're going to usher the move command. All right, we're going to say message equals the move command, because the move command will return to us a string that should be used. Now, we do want to do a quick check if it is none, because if the message is none, that means they gave us an invalid move and we just want to continue on. All right, so I see the question there. I'll look at it in just a second after I finish the review. So our move function here, we're going to take in a variable. This is an issue or an error that we had previously that I didn't see until now. So we're going to take in some type of variable and we're going to call it P direction. P standing for player, and this is the direction they want to move. So we're going to get that direction out of the string because it's the second item in the string that they're going to give us, and we're going to call that direction. We additionally made a base message, right? This is just a base template message for us to use. 0 correlates, funny enough, with the up direction, but that doesn't matter. This is just, we need some default data in there to start with. So down here is how we figure out what we want to go with. So if they said up, then we're going to set the message and the move in the message to the value of up. And then same with down, left, and right. If they give us anything else, all right, we have an else statement that will then print invalid direction and it will return none. That's why on the client here, we need to do a check here and see if the message that move returns is none, because if it is, we want to continue, aka just go back to the top of the loop and ignore what they did. All right. And if it's not none, then they will get a string version, a JSON stringified string of the dictionary that is ready to be sent to the server. All right. So I'm going to answer this question and then we'll see this in action. All right. Question: I have so many commands. Is it good practice to have them all in the same file for better searchability? Yes, depends on what you mean by same file. So it depends on how many commands there are, because like I said, you could have a folder called commands, and in there are potentially 100 different Python files. Each one does one single command. In that case, it's better to have them split up, but you should have a file or some type of code to basically read them all and stitch them all together into an array that's called like the commands array. So that way, if someone ushers a help, you know, in right here, the help command, it can print out all the commands they can potentially do. Similar logic to what I did right here for choices. All right, these choices, you know, we say these are variables for integer values, but these could be just functions, like an up function, a down function, and you make a pretty much a list, a high-level list that stitches them all together right here. Again, you can have them all in different files, but you need to have a piece of code somewhere that stitches them all together. And again, it depends on how big your code base is. I like seeing things visually, so it depends on how long everything is, I may take the time to write it all out into one big choice list. All right, but there are ways to automatically do it. There are always ways to automatically do things when you're programming. You mean in the same Python file? Again, that depends. How many commands do you have? And organization is up to you. If you want all the commands and you have like 100 commands in one file, sure. I mean, you can do that. That's completely fine. It's totally up to you. Some people may like it, some people may not like it, but it's totally up to you. I would say, personally, if you have 5 to 10 commands in one file, you'd be fine. But if there's more than that, I personally would probably look at switching to a folder called commands and then just having a bunch of different files for each commands. But again, if it works, it works, right? But sloppiness and laziness may come back to bite you in the ass. So, you know, you also don't have unlimited time. Just like how you guys see right now, I don't have unlimited time for 100 days of Rootkit. We have about 100 days. There's only so much we can cover and go over, and there's only, It's only so clean I can make the code for you guys before we need to move on and talk about new stuff. All right. So it just always depends. So let's go ahead and see this in action. If you guys do have any other questions or comments, go ahead and post them into the chat. Let's go ahead and stop our previous server from running. Let's go, I don't think that was the previous server. Let's go ahead and open that up. Press this stop, click on server. Let's go ahead and run the server here. Actually, we didn't need to change the server because we only modified the client, but whatever. Let's go ahead and cd into game server, and then we're going to do Python client. Press enter. We'll say we're Bob. We load in as Bob. Now, when we enter our move command, we no longer can do raw JSON. So if we try to do raw JSON and say move and say like 1 and press enter, you'll see that that worked. All right, that worked because we don't have, we just have 2 if statements for doing commands, but we don't have anything stopping anything that's invalid. So we should probably change that. But let's go and show that you can use our new command that we did. So now we can just say move, and we can say move left, and we moved left. And we can say move right, and we move right. And we can move right again, and we can move down, and we can move up. All right, so now we can just type in literal strings and have it happen. So that's pretty neat. That's pretty neat and pretty nice, pretty convenient. To change that last little bug here, if I type in exit, there we go. Now we can type in exit and it will break out. This also, is that for the server? What file is this? In the player? Whatever. I think that's in the server because it unexpectedly closed. So what we want to do here, no, closing is outside of the loop. Whatever, we're gonna move on. So instead of having these both as ifs, we want to have the first one as an if, this one as an else if, and then we can just put an else here that says invalid command and continue. So now when we reconnect the client, and we'll reconnect as Bob, that did break the server. So we don't have clean breaks. So that is another bug that we need to resolve. We won't resolve it. That's for you to resolve, all right? Let's go ahead and do Bob. Now, when I try to do that raw JSON, it will no longer work. And you kind of see the invalid command pops up there. So let's say move and 0 or 1. There we go. Now it just says invalid command unless we usher in a correct command like saying move and then down, and now that will work. So there we go. We now set it up so it's a little bit cleaner. They can't just enter in raw data, which is a plus for us. All right, plus for us. We're kind of keeping things a little bit more contained, which is super exciting. Are there any questions, comments, or concerns about that before we do? We're going to do a git commit, push everything up, and then we're going to change branches so we can continue on with combat. All right. Let us, is there a best way to learn Git? I use it. Watch our video on Git. We're pretty thorough. We go over just about everything that you need to know for the exam. I'm trying to remember if we missed everything or missed anything. Watch our day for Git. What day was that? Let's go and look. We go very thorough, draw lots of pretty pictures, do lots of examples. 100 Days of Rootkit. I don't want to watch it. I just want to see. What is this? I just want the playlist. Why do you do this, YouTube? There we go. This is going to be, I believe, on a post day 40. Right here. Get Good Scrub. Right? Day 42. Go watch that one. Sounds like you are a scrub. And you need to get good. Alright? Yeah, go watch that one. We literally go over everything that you need to know. All right, literally every single thing. All right, so let's go ahead and do our exit here so we can quit out. That time I think the server's already down. So let's go ahead and do our git add all, git commit, and then we're going to say that we made the move command easier to use. We did not add a help command though. Let's go ahead and git push that up. There we go. And we're not going to do a git merge, right? We're going to use the pull request system. So let's go ahead and go on to GitHub here. And let's run through another pull request again. Again, as you see with Git, it's not complicated. Once you learn it once, you're pretty much going to do the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over again. All right, we're not introducing anything new because there's not really much new things or too many new things to do. All right, besides the tags, which we showed off, and there are ways to. You may run into issues which we talk about, and I believe we also went over how to alleviate those issues. I can't remember right now. Hopefully we did. All right, so we just pushed up the move command, and we want that to go into dev. There we go. We'll create a pull request, add reviewers, or it will automatically have reviewers. Wait for our reviewers to prove everything. Looks good, boss. Comment. Or we can even look at the files here and viewed. Right? Ooh, we looked at everything. Look at that. We got a little bar. Reviewed changes. We approve. I can't approve. Pull request authors can't approve their own pull requests. So, well, looks great. Keep up the good work. Sweet. All this stuff just goes back to the main conversation here. All right. So let's go ahead and just merge this in. Once this is now merged in, let's go ahead and git check out to our dev branch. Let's go ahead and git pull our changes, all right, that are on the GitHub server. So we reflect it down here. Sweet. And now we're going to be doing combat. So let's go ahead and git check out to our TAC B for a new branch, feature / combat commands. All right. Epic. Let's go ahead and do a git push so the branch is created on the GitHub server. There we go. And now we're ready to continue with combat. So combat should be pretty much the same layout wise as moving. All right, we're going to intercept a command. It's going to be a string command. All right. Again, we can start on the client or we can start on the server. I'm going to start on the server. And when they usher in that they want to fight, they basically they can only choose again a direction: up, right, left, or down. Need some more water. I think I'm getting sick or something. All right, so excuse me. So it's gonna be pretty much the exact same as the move command. The only thing that we're missing here is if you're gonna be fighting, you need to be able to do damage and you need to be able to do health. Now, I highly recommend you go look through your dungeon crawler, because you can pretty much take a lot of the code, by a lot I mean pretty much all of the code from the dungeon crawler, and copy paste it right here into our player, right? You can have, again, we showed off there the inheritance, right? You can do inheritance here. It will all work just the same. We need to modify our player a little bit because our players no longer work for us, because our players need to have a concept of health and attack. And again, if you modify this to work with the dungeon crawler, you can then set it up also to hold weapons, inventory system, etc., and build upon it, right? You can build upon this. So let's go ahead and do self.health. We're just going to do something very simple. We'll do like 10 health. We won't even do a dying screen. All right, we're just gonna have straight up combat. And we're going to do, it would be more proper if we did max health, so I like that it has that there. But we're just gonna keep things very, very simple again, just to show off this. We're gonna do attack. And yeah, we'll do just 1 damage for our attack. So now we need to make a function pretty much similar to our move, which is going to be right here. But instead, we need to do an attack. We need to know what direction to attack. So it's going to be the same basic attack every single time. We just need to know what direction relative to us we need to be attacking. All right. This also sets up where we can make our custom logic here on if 2 people are on top of each other, because again, we don't have any collision logic right now. If 2 people are on top of each other, when I attack, upwards, right, left, whatever, does that also hit the person in the same spot I'm in or not? Do I always have to be 1 space away from them? Again, this is your game. It's up to you to make those choices. That opens up potentially new ways of doing combat, like moving around, you know, can't be on top of each other. I think of like classic old school RuneScape type movement, because if you're on top of someone, you have to like move for a tick before you can actually, whatever. You can do anything you want. Move pretty much is exactly what we need though as a base function. So we're going to copy the move function literally 1 for 1. We're going to change it from move to attack. We're going to say attack a player. All right. And then we're going to write the logic here. So what's going to happen is we need to look where we are. So we're not going to be removing anyone from the map. All right. And we're not going to be putting anyone on the map. So let's go ahead and remove that logic. But our logic here is very similar to what we need, because we effectively need to look at our current coordinate that we are at and look at 1 up, 1 right, 1 left, and see who is there. Who is there? We need to search for that person in our player management. All right. And then we need to do damage to them. Right. Then we need to do damage to them. All right. So let's go ahead and do that logic, shall we? So first, 1 step at a time, let's finish up with the direction logic. So our current coordinate, we do not want to be changing. Instead, it probably would be best if we call something maybe like attack coordinate, and that will equal what our current coordinate is. All right, our attack coordinate will equal what our current coordinate is. And I'm going to do a dot copy here just to make sure that it's a copy of the list and not the original list. I'm pretty sure we would be fine, but sometimes this is an issue. Again, what the issue is pointers, right? Just from our C class. Python's a little smart, but also does some memory management stuff, which can or cannot be a pro. Sometimes when you refer to lists or dictionaries, it won't make a copy of them. It will be a pointer to it. And we don't want to be modifying the data from current coordinates via a pointer. So I'm just going to do this as a safety check, because I can't remember off the top of my head if it will clone it or not. All right. So we're going to do our attack coordinates. So our attack coordinates are going to be where we're going to attack. So this needs to be in the up, down, left, or right direction, right? So let's go ahead and do attack coordinates here. And we need to pretty much just change this from self.currentCores to this new item. So that way we know where we need to attack. Before I forget, there is a major exploit in our code right now, right? And it has to do with the previous move that we did. So our moves here do up, down, left, and right. I guess it's not that big of an exploit, but it can be potentially an exploit, because right here we're invalidating directions on the client, but maybe someone wants to modify our client. That happens all the time. All hardcore validation should always occur on the server. There's no exceptions. It should always occur on the server, because your client can always be compromised. If you're giving something to someone, that is now compromised. Do not trust it. So something like movement should always be handled with the most upright elegance. All right, never trust anyone. This if statement block should work fine, but just in case, if we ever needed to, you should always have an else that will pretty much just stop everything from happening, in case they did something they weren't supposed to do. All right, I don't think we'll run into an issue for this one, but that is a major potential exploit point, right? Very important, very important. So our attack player, we want to know what coordinate we are going to summon our attack on. Once we do that, if they do not give us a valid direction, we can say else. This was invalid, so we're going to return. Right now we don't return anything, so we're just going to just return like that. So that way we can, you know, not do anything or allow them to do anything they're not supposed to. So now we just need to usher an attack, and we need to damage the player that's in that square, if there is even a player in that square. So what we can do is look at that location in the map. So we need to pass on, we need to get the map. So let's go ahead and get the map. But even more than that, we need to be able to get the player. Now currently we don't really have a way of doing that. So this is a potential other issue in our code, an oversight that we may want to add better modifications for. Specifically, player management holds all of the players, but we have no way of potentially accessing player management or searching through player management. All right, so what we might want to do here is either pass the player management object to the player itself so it has access to player management, or we can pass like a search function from player management to the player so it only has access to the search function. Again, depends on how complex everything is, but you know, they're both valid ways. I'm just going to do a search function because that will just be simpler. Def search, and let's go ahead and do close. We're going to search, and then they need to pass us an X and a Y coordinate. No, we need player, so we need, oh no, username was correct. So we're going to use username, self.players, username. So that's the only issue, is their username currently doesn't show up on the screen, their ID shows up on the screen. So we need to modify the search function a little bit, just to be user ID. So we can search, we can call this search by ID, and we need to change this to be going through a for loop for there we go, for, oh, that's perfect. And then we're just going to return none just in case it doesn't hit anything. All right, so here's our search function. We need to pass this to the player. So we're going to call this self.player search equals player search. And here we're going to make something called player search. And we're going to have this as an optional item that's just called none. Why optional? So that way we don't have to modify export down here. It will just automatically be none. All right, because this may or may not cause an issue for our export. So now the last thing we need to do is when a new player is being created, aka right here, we're going to want to go ahead and pass through the player search. Alrighty. This should be all good now. So let's go ahead and finish up our logic here for player. So for attack, we're attack coordinates equals copy, and now we want to do self dot player search, and this is going to be the attack coordinates based off the map. So pretty much this logic right here. So we can get the ID out of this. All right, and I guess we should, that should be good. And attack needs to return the player equals this map, and then this is going to be attack coordinate 1, attack coordinate 2. If player is none, we're just going to go ahead and return, and if not, we're going to go ahead and do this. Perfect. We have now finished everything. All right. So a quick review. We had to alter the player management. We had to give it a new function called search by ID, which will allow us to give it a user ID because that's all that we have show up on the map right now. And when we pass it a user ID, we're going to then go through all of the current players and see if any of those current players are equal to the ID of the players that exist. If it is, then we're going to return that player. If not, we're going to return none. All right. And I thought the casting worked for this. Yeah, it says player. Is this not the, I thought this was the way we do our for loops. I'm just curious on why the typing is not working. I guess it is. Maybe that's a thing that we tried to do and the typing wasn't working. Whatever. We're going to move on from that. If we go over to player, we can see a player can do an attack now. We have no way to usher attack, all right, because we still need to add that on the server section, but they can do an attack. They need to say what direction they want to attack on, and we need the map so we can look up exactly where they're attacking, all right? So we're going to copy our coordinates, all right, and this way we can use our coordinates as the base and then figure out which direction we want to attack in. We're then going to calculate which direction to attack in. Then using that player search, we're going to look on the map and get the ID of potentially any players that are around us, all right? And it will return a player to us. If that player is set to none, that means it didn't find a player, and we're just going to end our attack function because we're not going to attack open air. If we did find a player, then we want to do our attack damage and subtract it against their health, all right? Our attack damage against their health. Again, if you're moving over code from the dungeon crawler, this is where you would run your attack function to calculate how much damage you're supposed to do. And this is where you would run the take damage function so the player knows and will calculate their defenses and other stat on knowing how much damage they should take. This is a very simplistic form of doing it. Not recommended if you want to have a very in-depth game, all right? You should definitely follow closer to the code that we wrote in our dungeon crawler, all right? So the last thing to do is allow our clients to be able to usher the attack function. So let's go over to our run, all right? To our loop right here. We should do, there we go. Send the player's ID to the client. This is not a valid function. So in here, let's go ahead and add to our if statements. So if they said exit, we broke here, and then we can change this now to an else if, and then let's change this to an else if they attack. There we go. Perfect. This is exactly what we want. Self attack player. This is just attack, not attack player. And attack needs the direction and the map. So we'll say comma map. There we go. The server is now perfectly set up for doing attacks. And again, we could also set up some logic here for else. And then just say invalid command. All right. So now we are all set up for continuing on. Right? We're all set up for continuing on. And we have an exit here, which means we should make it so this will send exit before breaking. We could to solve that bug from earlier, but whatever. We'll just let it be a bug. All right, we'll let it be a bug for now. We can just add a little to-do. To-do crashes server. All right. So I guess let's modify the client so we can do a attack, right? That's the last thing we need to do here. So let's go ahead and go to our client, and let's go ahead and modify our if statements here. So we got an if statement for moving. We could pretty much copy and paste the move again, and instead make this attack, and then we can say commands.attack. Now that function sure doesn't exist right now, but we're about to make it exist, and we're pretty much good. Except we need to make this an elif, because this is now another choice we can make. Let's go to the attacks module and make this attack function. Again, it's pretty much going to be exactly how move is set up, except we're going to call it attack. They're going to be sending an attack, and we need to know the direction of their attack. I'm going to remove this alternate way. This is the direction they want to attack, and that's pretty much it. It's pretty much exactly like move. I wasn't joking, all right? We got to steal a lot of code that we already wrote, do some copy and pasta, and pretty much be done, all right? Let's do one last sanity check on the server here, just to make sure. This is going to be looking at data move, data attack. All right, I just want to make sure that when we send the JSON data, it would be interpreting it correctly. So everything looks good. Let's go ahead and run this and see if it even works. All right, shall we? And then we'll do some question answering. So let's go ahead and run our server. And our server is running. Let's go ahead and connect. Actually, I'm going to end the server. And I'm going to, no, we did fix that earlier. So I'm going to go ahead, did we fix that earlier? Is the old save going to be messed up? I'm going to go ahead and delete the old save file, because I don't know if it's going to be messing up our new changes to the player. So I'm just going to delete it right now. So let's go ahead and rerun the server. And now let's connect to it. So we're going to say Python and our client and press enter. There we go. And it looks like we are running into our first issue. Player management object has no attribute player search. All right. So that is an issue we are going to need to resolve. So let's see here. This, I believe, is going to be refreshes right here. Let's go to refresh. Did we type in the name incorrect? Search by ID. Let's go back to server. That's what it, okay. Typos, man. Typos. They kill everyone, all right? No matter starting out or later on, as you guys have seen through these 100 days, typos happen. All right, they happen, and sometimes it's rough. You could go a whole day trying to figure out what's wrong just to figure out it was a stupid typo. Trust me, it happens, right? It happens. All right, so let's go ahead and rerun this server. Let's do our Python and client. There we go, we're connected. Let's connect as Bob. All right, we're connected as Bob. Let's try moving. Let's move down. All right, we move down. Let's try to attack to the right. All right, attack to the right. Looks like it, did it move us? Attack right. Why is attack moving us? I think we're running the wrong function here. Client, commands, attack. Okay, this is not highlighted. Are we not? Commands are right here. Did we not save this file? Well, I'm going to stop the server real quick. Definitely save this file. Oh, we're changing the message to from attack to move right here. So a little bug right here. So let's go ahead and change all of these messages from attack to from move to attack. Again, this may be a great example of why doing it like this is preferred, at least for me, because I had to just change 4 different items here not very dry. But in this version, I just change it here once, and that's it. All right, so a little bit more dry, a little bit more ideal. So look, I'm gonna keep it like it is, like this, but again, that's what I would recommend. So let's go ahead and rerun our client, because this is just an issue on the client, so we don't need to rerun the server. So let's go ahead and run the client again. No connection. We stopped the server. So let's go ahead and rerun the server. Let's rerun the client. There we go. And let's reconnect as Bob. There we go. Let's go ahead and do move right. All right, move right. I want to be in the center. And let's go ahead and do an attack right. There we go. We ushered the attack command, and we got a new error here, and looks like it's on the server this time. So int object is not callable. Int object is not callable. Int object is not callable. Self-tac map. Which object is the int? Of course, you don't give me a nice, beautiful error right here. So self attack, get attack is not none. Data is attack. Data should be attack right here. Again, data is definitely attack right here. Client. I just want it to be all highlighted correctly. This is continue. Player. Self.attack. This is definitely exists right here. Copy coordinates. We're not getting a great message. So let's rerun that again and reread it before we continue down our rabbit hole here. So let's go ahead and let's do Alice and say attack top. Invalid direction up. Int object is not callable. The attack. Are we? Did we re? Oh. 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 So. If you get an error like that, it means you probably used the name twice. So why it's freaking out is we have attack right here that's equal to 1, and we have a function named attack. So they're overwriting each other, right? So they're overwriting each other. So we need to change one of these so they don't have a collision. So let's go ahead and change this attack function to attack player. And let's change attack up here to attack player. That should resolve everything. All right. So let's go ahead and rerun. And let's get our client going. Let's say Bob. All right. And let's go ahead and do move right. And let's go ahead and do attack up. And there we go. We've ushered the attack. And it worked successfully. The last thing we may want to do here, so we can see what's going on and if everything is working correctly, is print out the HP, our current HP. So we'll connect two clients, have them attack each other, and we'll see their HP get printed out. Since we've hit about the hour mark, let's go ahead and take our typical 3 to 5 minute break, and we'll finish this up right after the break. So I'll see you guys in 3 to 5 minutes. Alrighty. Let us continue on our journey here. Let's first do our quick intro, and then I'll check for if there's been any comments or questions in regards to the while I was on break. So if you don't know, we are a Rootkit nonprofit organization here in the US of A. Don't go to college, don't go to any other boot camp. You're already here, you're already watching. Continue watching so you can learn everything you need to know to get certified, all right, and get our CompSci cert and get a job. It's really that easy. To learn more about the perks and benefits, you can read them right here, all right? On top of that, we do lots of free stuff, more than just 100 Days of Rootkit, which is free on YouTube, all right? You can go over to the blog section and participate in our week 13 giveaway right now. Make sure you enter. It's free. It's easy. You just go to our site, go to blog, week 13, press the green button, enter to win, all right? That easy. Completely free, and you'll win some merch. What is it going to be? I don't even know. We'll figure it out this weekend. Most likely, we'll include a sweater, because I want to get rid of these sweaters, all right? On top of that, if you want to avoid your taxes, which everyone does, all right, donate today. We are a charity, so 100% is tax deductible of what you donate. Depending on how much you donate, you can unlock certain rewards like our epic stickers or collab t-shirt and our exclusive 100-day Rootkit sweater, which is only available during 100-day Rootkit event. All donations are matched 1-for-1 for the first 10,000 donations, so every time you donate, it's like donating twice as much, so make sure you donate. And we have pillars along the way, like streaming for 24 hours straight, shaving my head here live on stream, and shaving my beard, which no one wants to see, so we don't need to get that one. Let us continue on our journey here, shall we? And I just minimized everything, and that is terrible. Please bring it back. Oh, gosh darn it. Alright, so I gotta pull up everything again. Let's bring up the stream. Let's bring up the Discord. Let's bring up the Google Chrome. Alright, there we go. So, let's finish this up, shall we? It's Friday. Alright, we're all trying to go party, get a little drunk. Alright, so let's go ahead and finish it up. And I think tomorrow we'll just do a short stream for the deadlock stuff. Right? We won't show it off today. Yeah, then we'll have our Sunday one. Or maybe we'll just do it on Sunday. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. All right, so we just need to show off that the attacking is working, specifically just printing out the health. All right, we just want to print out the health. So that means we need to send the health information over also along with the map. All right, we need to send it along with the map. So if we go over to our server, we can go ahead and go to spawn and run and see what we're sending. Right here, we can see send map command where we send the map. We also potentially want to be sending the health. Sending map we should probably be doing every single time, which we pretty much are. So let's go ahead. No, I'll just keep this here for now. Sending map, and we also need to potentially be sending health. What is going on in our send map? It's right here, or pickle dumps map. So what we can do here instead is potentially modify this to also send our health. So let's go ahead and modify this. So it's going to be, we haven't done anything crazy yet. What we're going to do is say that we want this to be sending an array of our map and then our current health. All right, so now we're sending our map and our health. Just a quick fix, all right? Ideally, you want to do a little bit more than this and not keep the function called send map, but we're just going to show a quick fix real quick. So now we're sending the map and the client's health, or the player's health, every single time. We need to modify our client to accept the new layout of an array, map, and then self.health. So let's go ahead and do that quick. If we go over to our client and we look at our commands, is it not in our commands? It's going to be in our map renderer. So let's go to our map renderer. Here is where we're rendering our map. So we need the map. The map is given to us outside here, inside of this right here. Pickle loads data. So when the pickle loads data goes off, it's going to have map and then health. All right, so we can unpack that. So this is just going to take that array that we're going to get and unpack it to map and then health. Now we can do map render, and then we can also print our health. All right, perfect. So this auto-generated in the shorthand format, so we can just keep it like that. Now we can see our health. Right now we can see our health. The only issue right now is our health will only auto-refresh of what its current value is whenever we usher in a command. All right, so we won't, if we get attacked 10 times, we won't be able to see our health at all update until we either usher an attack command or we usher a move command. So that's also an issue with the way we have things laid out. So that's something you can potentially look into and figure out yourself. So let's go ahead and end this current client, and let's go ahead and rerun our server to see our health now. All right, to see our health. So let's reconnect as someone new. Let's say Joe. Link is not supported between lists and ints. All right, we have slight. This is because of the load. Is it because of the load? Receive player. What is going on here? Player run. Player runs. Player's receiving data. We didn't. Did it just bug? I'm gonna delete the old save here. Not quite sure what that is. If it comes up again, we'll go ahead and check it out, because it says this is for the client, the map renderer. Map renderer map. Where is our client? Did we save in our client? Oh, why is there a breakpoint here? Can we get rid of this breakpoint? Not quite sure what's going on. Okay, whatever. So map renderer, map and health. This should be breaking things out correctly. I guess the issue was that we send the map beforehand, don't we? Server, player, spawn, map. Starts the new thread. Receives some data. Send map. This will pickle the map and the health and send the data. Send map is here, send map is there. Okay, whatever. Let's reconnect with a client and let's say Bob. Not supported between list, instances of list and int. So this is an issue on the client right here. Generate load. Line column 1 JSON decode JSON data. This is on the server side. Now I'm confused. Bob, enter. Server crashed. What did we do, you guys? What did we mess up here? Because all we did was send map. This is on the player. This is the data. If we change this back to pickle.dumps map, this should also bug too, right? Because we changed the client a little bit. What? Okay, that's not bugging. Does it bug now when we try to move up? Yes, too many values to unpack. Map health, too many values to unpack. So it's the initial map that's being sent to us, which looks like it's missing. I don't know why it keeps referring to the JSON here. Because our client, our map should be doing what our map is going to do. Pickle loads, too many values to unpack because we didn't send on the server the extra stuff. So this data loads data retrieve. Check chat just in case you guys saw exactly what I did wrong there. So again, I'm going to change this back. Pickles dump map self.health. Right, should be an integer value. Let's look at our run command again. We're going to receive some data. We're going to receive the username. Once we get the username, then I'm going to go ahead and delete this save file also. Once we get the username, we're going to then do refresh. Player management doesn't send, should never send the map, right? Find send, never sends anything. So player run user connects, up refreshing player management, current coordinates, getting our current coordinates, putting the player onto the map, trying to connect. Create code for pickling the map, send the pickled map. So send map is going to send the map. So this needs to have data right here. So this is where we're going to go ahead and with our connection, send the pickled data of map and health. Over to the user. So the client will immediately get this the first time. So let's go right here. There's our issue. we modified this one down here on the client, but not this one up here. And we get the weird server error because when we disconnect unexpectedly on our client, we did something on the server where it doesn't elegantly close things or handle it, so it freaks out. So that should hopefully fix everything. So let's go ahead and rerun our server here, go over to the client. Let's go ahead and do our Python and our client, and let's do Bob. There we go, we're all connected. Now let's go ahead and move to the left one. And there we go. We can see our health getting printed out. Let's move to the left one more. All right, so we have this one client connected. We have Bob connected. He's going to be -2. Let's have another client connect at the same time, and let's put these side by side. All right, so let's go and CD into our game server, and we're going to go ahead and do Python client, and this one's going to be Alice. All right, and now we see Alice down there. So let's go ahead and move up. And let's have move up again on Alice, and let's move to the right on Alice. There we go. So Alice is right next to Bob. So now let's have Alice attack Bob. So let's go ahead and do attack to the right. There we go. Alice has successfully attacked Bob. Now we should probably add something on the client side that will say like you successfully attacked or not, but we don't have that type of visual feedback. But Bob here should see that his health has gone down. So let's go ahead and have Bob do just an attack upward so it doesn't hit anything, just so we can get the refresh info. So let's do attack up. And we can see here that Bob's health has decreased. So Bob in retaliation can go ahead and attack back. So attack left. And bam, he's attacked, which means now that Alice has taken damage also. So we just want to attack up just to see, it is now reflected. There's an issue here because this isn't really a turn-based game, which means Alice can just attack right very, very quickly by ushering the same command multiple times. And if Bob is slow, bam, next thing you know, he's about to die. So again, this is pretty neat, pretty cool, and the start of your server and showing off again threading, all the epicness of threading, clients, multiple connections, interaction with them, ushering commands, just a bunch of stuff, all right, all packed into this one example. Again, there are lots of to-dos and ways you can go about improving this, all right, mostly doing your tries and accepts, making sure you have your filtering correct, etc., etc. But the core concepts here in showing how all these pieces can stitch together is presented properly. All right, is presented properly. There again is the deadlock example that we need to give. We'll do that on Sunday. Tomorrow we're not going to do a class. We'll take tomorrow off. This Sunday we're going to do our chill Q&A that won't count against the day on 100 days of Rootkit. So we're going to do our chill Q&A. It's not going to count against the day on 100 days of Rootkit. And also on that one, we'll show the deadlock example, all right? Because my voice is killing me right now. Worst case scenario, if I keep getting sick on Sunday, we'll do the giveaway and answer any questions, and we'll move the deadlock example to another day, all right? Are there any other questions, comments, or concerns before we end today's stream? Alrighty, I don't see any other questions, so we're gonna call that good. So I'll see you guys tomorrow on the next one.
Hey. Jimmy's streaming. Luke is out for a run. Tad's eating. Yeah, he was. That's right.
If it's busy over there.
Yeah.
I'm playing Final Fantasy. That's what I'm doing. Yeah. Took a bit of a break yesterday just so I didn't burn myself out. No, I went to work. Only a little bit. Huh? Oh, I don't know. Probably just gaming with those other degenerates. Yeah, it looks like they're playing Among Us together. I should probably go get me a bourbon. No, I shouldn't. I just changed my character from a bunny girl to a dragon man. Yeah. He looked pretty cool. 23 levels away from max level on one job. Then I gotta do it for all the other ones. Oh god, I fell into the trap. Yeah, that's right, baby. I'm a trap. Hell, I got the loot. Where do I gotta go now? Oh, right over here. Hey! Can't do that. You can't do that.
How long was I gone? Good hour?
An hour.
Hell yeah.
Like an hour and 20 minutes.
That's not bad. That's not bad.
Yeah, baby. What are we waiting for? I'm a dragon guy riding on a dragon.
Why the hell Jamie playing Among Us?
Among Us.
Oh, playing that game.